Hi, this is Cycle 1, Week 15, Fine Arts. We are working on Fra Giovanni Angelico, and Fra in Italian is just another name for brother. Our three facts. Our first one, we're going to talk about the fact that he was an Italian monk who was a great early Renaissance painter. So as we get into it, we're going to talk about Renaissance painters. So there's early Renaissance, and then there's late Renaissance. And he was an early Renaissance painter. Number two, he learned to draw and paint at the monastery by illuminating manuscripts. And you might want to talk about what illuminated manuscripts are. So they're these beautiful, they started as Bibles is what they are. And they're beautiful illustrations of letters that are detailed kind of like pictures, and then they're handwritten, so they're not typed up. So the same way that we did in week 13 where we had to make our paint, the same way that the printing press wasn't invented yet, and so they had to handwrite all the books that they read. And so they made them really pretty and beautiful because a lot of people in that time couldn't read. So if you got your hands on a manuscript and you couldn't read, they wanted people of the time to be able to at least understand it. And so that's where these pictures came in, because people could at least put together pictures rather than read the text. And if you could read the text, the picture would coincide. So that's a kind of an illuminated manuscript. So he learned how to do that because he just kept doing it, and he kept getting better and better, and every page had these beautiful drawings, really intricate on it. I was looking to see if I had one of those pictures in your drawings for the week, and I don't, but that's super easy just to pull up on your phone. Number 3 is that he used delicate colors. So I'm going to just show you this one and talk about it briefly. Okay, there. So his colors, they're there. I mean, you can see the reds and the blues and the light blues and the darks down here, but nothing's really jumping out at you. Nothing's really bold about it. And you'll notice that as a theme throughout his artwork. And so that's kind of what he's known for. The other thing that he's really known for are these halos around everyone's head. And so what he's symbolizing there is that they were the angels, which were meant to show inner goodness of everyone, kind of, really everyone, well, who he drew, the inner goodness of the people that he drew. So those are the three facts. Here are your pictures. Again, he's very Christian with his drawings, so you can talk about those. This is the resurrection. This is the Sermon on the Mount. Those are obviously the disciples underneath are listening. Here is Yosemite in the garden and the crucifixion. So very Christian based. He wrote about, he drew everything from the Bible because that's what he knew. So that is him. This should take about 10 minutes. If we've done two weeks prior now, you can talk about what other projects they did, what did they learn. Maybe you can go over the facts really fast. If you have older kids, maybe really try and see, hey, what 3 facts did you do? Another good idea that Dana does a lot, and we try and sometimes do in our class, is try and use hand motions with those first, second, and third ones, and you can just make them up on the spot of something that would be good for them if they have littles to try and remember, because that helps with memory. On to our project or activity. So he did a lot of what is called a resist style, and I will tell you more about that in a minute. What you're going to need one of these Madonna pictures, Mary and baby Jesus on a sheet of heavy cardstock there in your bin. You need your name labels. Put those on the back. You need your pastels, and you need Q-tips. You need paintbrushes. You need some of this gold paint that you should have in your bin. And you also need black paint that I don't think you have in your bin, but I have 2 full ones of this, so there will be enough, and I will hand it out. And one thing that is not on there that you do need, you need maybe 4 or 5 Dixie cups. So if you have any left over from week 13, please bring those in. If not, let me know and I can grab you some. Or you can use any type of cup. It doesn't have to be a Dixie cup, just if you have extras of those. We just need to mix some paint in it. So we are going to start with the picture. You are going to have the kids color this in, and this might take a little bit longer, so you might need to encourage some of your slower colorers to color a little bit faster, because really what they need to do, I will show you what I'm doing in a second. What they need to do is they need to get a lot of color everywhere. So what we don't want is we don't want a lot of white. We want a lot of dark, not necessarily dark, just thick pastel color on it. And I'll show you what happens. So once they have colored that in, so really encourage to get a lot of color on. I wouldn't say super fast, but you know, make sure to get a lot of color on, and if kids are taking too long, then you might need to encourage them to go a little bit faster. Then you're going to take some black paint and your Dixie cup, and you're going to need some water. And what I did is you need this paint to be super watery. So to give an estimation, I maybe did a half a teaspoon of paint to a tablespoon of water. I'll try and show you. So, and it's actually even hardened up a little bit. I'm gonna add just a little bit more water. Sorry. So I just added a splash. So I mean, where's the camera? You can't, I know you can't see it. Shoot, sorry. There, like you can see how liquidy it's becoming. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna create that resist style. So what the kids are gonna do is they're gonna take their paintbrush and they're gonna paint over. And do you see how that, I'm just gonna do like 2 more and then I'm gonna bring it up close. Do you see how that is starting to bead? It's not connecting, it's not, you know, soaking into the paper. That's what you want. That's called the resist style. So essentially the oil, for those technical kids that need it, the oil in the pastels is resisting the water. They're opposites. And that's what you want. What shouldn't happen, it can happen, but is like this. So if you get too much of this black paint on, it's just gonna kind of look washy. And it did resist. If you look, you can see a few spots right there where it did resist, but it looks better if you can do a little bit less of the black paint. See, there you go. And you can see it start to pull away in there. That's what you're looking for. So you don't necessarily want the whole thing to be washed black. You want most of it to kind of beat up. You know, you want some black on there that's gonna beat up a little bit. Okay, once that is done, so ideally what we would like to do is we would like to have this all dry, and then we could paint a gold halo on Jesus and Mary. It's not gonna happen, we're not gonna have enough time. So instead what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our Q-tips and we are going to use that gold paint. Let's see if you can see it. Okay, and you're going to just dab it in very gently, and we're going to do a little bit of gold. Oh, you can't even see it, but there you go. You're gonna do a little bit of gold on the top to make a halo like Giovanni Angelico did. What can't happen is you can't paint it. we really need to make sure, sorry, the light is bad. You really need to make sure that it doesn't get painted on, because what happens over here is that it's not gonna work. The paint's not gonna work, and it's gonna take the black resist style off. And so you really need to encourage just the daubs of it. And when I did it on the wet paint earlier, you can only get about 2 or 3 daubs on the wet paint before you need to get more. And that's okay. So that is your activity for the week.